Meet Sarah. She's 31, makes $78,000 a year, and just hit a milestone, $45,000 saved for a down payment. She should feel proud. Instead, she feels suffocated. Her parents call every Sunday. When are you going to stop throwing money away on rent? Her realtor texts with listings ending in, "This won't last. You're missing out on building equity." Her college friend just posted a photo holding keys to a new townhouse. Sarah currently pays $2,200 a month for a two-bedroom apartment. The equivalent $425,000 house her realtor keeps pushing, at today's 6% mortgage rate, her monthly payment would be $3,042. That's $842 more per month to own the same space. But here's where it gets wild. Her realtor says that extra money isn't waste, it's equity. Renters throw money away. What if I told you that in 2026, buying that home could actually make Sarah $120,000 poorer over the next decade than if she just stayed a renter? Let's destroy a myth right now. Both renters and homeowners throw money away. The money just burns in different directions. When you rent, your landlord keeps your $2,200. That's gone. We all know this. But when you own, you have three hidden costs that never build equity. I call these unrecoverable costs, and in 2026, they're absolutely brutal. Unrecoverable cost number 1, property taxes. The national average property tax rate is 1.11% of your home's value. For a $425,000 house, that's $4,718 per year, or $393 every single month paid to the government for the privilege of owning something you already bought. That money, gone. It doesn't build equity. It doesn't increase your net worth. It's rent you paid to the county. Unrecoverable cost number 2, maintenance. The oh shit tax. Financial advisors recommend budgeting 1% of your home's value annually for maintenance. That's another $4,250 per year, or $354 per month. And here's the thing. Most new homeowners think my house is new, I'll skip this. Then at 2 a.m. on a Saturday, the water heater explodes and suddenly you're $3,200 poorer with soaking wet carpet. Or the HVAC dies during a heat wave. Or you discover you have a small roof issue that requires a $12,000 replacement. That money doesn't build equity. It just stops your house from falling apart. Unrecoverable cost number 3, the cost of capital. The big one. This is where it gets really painful. The cost of capital has 2 parts. Part A, mortgage interest. On Sarah's $425,000 house with a $45,000 down payment, she's borrowing $380,000 at 6% interest. Her monthly payment is $2,279. But here's what your realtor won't show you. In year 1, Sarah pays $22,672 in interest and only $4,679 towards actually owning the house. The bank owns 83% of her payment. By year 5, she'll have paid $106,000 in interest and only gained $30,000 in equity from payments. That interest is gone forever. Part B, opportunity cost of the down payment. Sarah just locked $45,000 into her down payment. That money is no longer investable. If she had left it in a basic S&P 500 index fund averaging 8% annual returns, it would grow to $97,000 in 10 years. By putting it into the house, she's giving up $52,000 in potential gains. That's an invisible cost of homeownership no one talks about. So let's add up Sarah's monthly unrecoverable costs for that $425,000 house. Property taxes, $393 per month. Maintenance, $354 per month. Mortgage interest, year 1 average, $1,889 per month. Total, $2,636. Her rent is $2,200. She's spending $436 more per month just to own, and none of it builds equity. Here's the formula every person needs before signing a mortgage in 2026. Home price times 0.07 divided by 12 equals break-even rent. If you can rent a similar place for less than that number, renting is mathematically superior. Let's use Sarah's $425,000 house. $425,000 times 0.07 equals $29,750 per year. $29,750 divided by 12 equals $2,479 per month. Sarah's rent is $2,200. She's $279 below the break-even point. Renting wins. And here's the kicker. In 2026, this is easier than ever. According to the latest data, national median rent fell to $1,367 in late 2025, down 1.1% year over year. Major cities like Austin, Phoenix, and Tampa saw rent drop 3 to 7%. Meanwhile, mortgage rates are still hovering at 6%, and the median home price is $426,000. Renters have leverage right now. Home buyers, they're bleeding cash. If you're thinking, but home values always go up, I'll make it back in appreciation, let me stop you. 2026 is not 2020. Home price appreciation is anemic, according to the latest forecasts. Redfin predicts home values will rise just 1% in 2026. Realtor.com says 2.2%. Even the optimistic National Association of Realtors is only predicting 2% growth. Compare that to inflation, 2.5 to 3%, stock market historical average, 10%, S&P 500 in 2025 alone, plus 23%. In real terms, home prices are actually losing value relative to other investments. You're not building wealth. You're treading water while paying the bank. And here's the cruel irony. More Americans now have mortgage rates above 6% than below 3%. The lock-in effect that kept inventory tight is finally easing, which means more desperate sellers are hitting the market just as buyer demand is exhausted. Translation: prices aren't going to explode. They're going to stagnate. Look, I'm not saying buying is always stupid. There are 3 scenarios where it makes sense. 1, you're staying put for 10 plus years. Buying and selling a home costs 8 to 10% in transaction fees. If you're only staying 3 to 5 years, you're just paying the bank and real estate agents. But if you're in it for a decade, those costs get diluted and you can actually build meaningful equity. 2, you have a massive down payment, 30 to 40% plus. Remember, the killer is interest. If Sarah had a $170,000 down payment, 40%, instead of $45,000, her loan would only be $255,000. That cuts her monthly interest by $750 per month. Suddenly, the math flips. But who has $170,000 lying around? Exactly. 3, mortgage rates drop to 4% or below. If rates ever fall back to the 3 to 4% range, which experts say is unlikely before 2028, buying becomes far more attractive. But in 2026, we're not there. Let's run the final numbers. 2 versions of Sarah 10 years later. Scenario A, Sarah the homeowner, paid $365,000 total in mortgage payments, gained $75,000 in equity from principal payments, home appreciated 15% over 10 years, plus $63,750. Down payment grew to 0, locked in house, paid $47,000 in property taxes, paid $42,500 in maintenance, net worth from housing, $49,250. Scenario B, Sarah the renter who invests, paid $264,000 in rent, invested $842 per month in index funds. That grows to $147,000. Kept $45,000 down payment in the market, grew to $97,000. Net worth from this strategy, $244,000. The rich renter is $194,750 wealthier than the homeowner. Even if we're conservative and the stock market only returned 6%, Sarah still comes out $98,000 ahead by renting. But here's what really matters. Sarah the renter has freedom. She's not house poor. She's not panicking about a broken furnace. She's not chained to a zip code because she can't afford to sell. She can take the better job in another city. She can travel. She can breathe. The Boots theory of wealth. There's this old economic concept called the Boots theory. A poor person buys $20 boots that fall apart in a year. A rich person buys $200 boots that last 10 years. Being broke is expensive. Buying a house when the math doesn't work, that's the $20 boots. You think you're investing, but really you're just paying extra to feel like you're doing the right thing.
And let's not forget, for the first 7 years of your mortgage, the bank owns the majority of your payment. You're not building equity, you're renting money from the bank at 6% interest. So here's my challenge to you. Stop listening to people who make a commission when you buy. Your parents bought in 1987 when rates were 10%, but homes were 2.5 times the median income. Now they're 6 times income. It's a different game. Your realtor gets paid 3% of the sale price whether the deal is good for you or not.
They are not your financial advisor. Your friend with the new house? Check in with them in 18 months when the HVAC dies and they can't afford a vacation because they're house poor. Do the 7% rule math. Be honest about your down payment, your timeline, and your opportunity cost. And if the numbers don't work, choose freedom over FOMO. Sarah decided to stay a renter. 3 years later, her portfolio is up $42,000. She just got promoted and relocated to a better city without selling a house, and she sleeps soundly knowing that if something breaks, she just calls the landlord. She stopped throwing money away by not buying a house. Want to calculate your own break-even rent? Drop your home price in the comments and I'll run the math. And if this video just saved you from making a $120,000 mistake, hit that subscribe button.